You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network.
Welcome one and all to another edition of the NBL Live pregame show that's brought to you each and every week by our graphic sponsor, Web3KS.com. They do that overlay you see here on NBL Live. A ton of other graphics for us across the network, and they're super affordable. So if you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, head over to Web3KS.com. They're the leaders in affordable graphic design, folks. Playoff time continues here on NBL Live. We've got AFC Divisional round matchup between two rivals who know each other pretty well. It's the Cleveland Browns and the still undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers going tonight here in the NBL playoffs for season 26. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Sonny Weaver. Sonny, before we look at some players to watch, there's been a question that's been posed. And by it's been posed, I mean, it's just been posed by me. No one else has asked it. But I want to ask you it here on the spot. This Pittsburgh Steelers team, we know they're not at the pinnacle. They haven't won the Super Bowl yet. But they're sitting here at 18-0. Is this the best team in the history of NBL? 18-0 against the competition in the NBL right now. Is this the best team that we have seen in the NBL?
Well, little confused. They're 16-0.
All right, they haven't played a game. So, look, what I was trying to say was, if they win today and tomorrow, they'll go into the Super Bowl at 18-0, a chance to go 19-0.
Yes. There you go.
So if they do finish it out, I mean, let's set aside who they finish out. They're 16-0 right now. Are they the best team ever?
They are in contention for the best team ever. You've got a Detroit Lions team, I believe, a couple seasons ago that ran the table up into the Super Bowl and then did lose that game, if I remember correctly. May have lost in the NFC title game, but were undefeated to that point. We've yet to have a team in NBL run it the full way. If they pull that off, they could go down as the greatest team ever.
Yeah, the competition in the NBL right now is at one of the highest levels we've seen, and the Steelers have some opportunity to make history in this playoff round, but they first got to get past the Cleveland Browns. Let's take a look at some players to watch, folks. On the side of the Cleveland Browns, it's the young phenom Myles Garrett, and Sonny, a lot of people have been naming this the year of the sack in the NBL because sack numbers are through the roof. We've already seen the record get broken, I think, by multiple people at this point. Myles Garrett, 16 sacks on the year, 60 tackles, a fumble forced and a fumble recovered, so he knows how to get after the quarterback. He knows how to force some turnovers, and at 16 sacks, how big of a deal is this guy to handle for a Pittsburgh Steelers team that to succeed, they're going to have to be able to contain this guy?
Well, they'll have to contain him. Obviously, he's a defensive force. 16 sacks is nothing to sneeze about. However, I question the value of the rest of that Cleveland Browns offensive line. I'm going to look for the Steelers to try to throw quickly to get the ball out and also maybe attack Myles Garrett. One way to get guys that are big-time pass rushers out of their fits is to run at them. So look for the Pittsburgh Steelers to try to attack Myles Garrett early in this game.
Yeah, and on the flip side, of course, it's the guy who's been the engine of this entire offense all year. It's Ben Roethlisberger, and look at those numbers. He's completing 72% of his passes at almost 300 passing attempts. He has 3,700 yards, a quarterback rating over the season of 135.8, 39 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Sonny, the numbers speak for themselves. Just put into perspective how good Ben Roethlisberger has been this year.
Well, to put it in perspective, he's heads and shoulders above the rest of the league as far as just as a pure passer. The guy brings so much to the team and to the NBL for that matter. He's kind of the golden standard of passing attacks. Now, if you're going to look at this matchup, the secondary for the Cleveland Browns, not that great. So what you're going to have to do is get pressure on Ben. If you can get pressure on him early, disrupt the timing a little bit, you've got a shot. But obviously, with only 13 interceptions, that's not been easy to do this year.
Well, we're about ready to send it out to the game. We've had a question posed in the chat, Sonny, and I'm interested to see what you think. The Cleveland Browns, we know what they're built around. It's Isaiah Crowell. It's that rushing attack on offense. The question that has been posed by our very own Shadow Rose is, are the Browns going to throw more than 5 times in this game today?
I will take the over on that bet. However, not by much more. I think the Browns are going to still try this running attack. I think they're going to find it tough sledding without their main running back, Isaiah Crowell. Duke Johnson, a very good pass catching back. I don't think he's going to be able to break the tackles that Crowell was able to break, and that's why I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are really going to dominate this game.
All right, well, let's put it into numbers. How much the Steelers have played the Browns twice this year. They've won both games, but the Browns are confident going into this one. But you're saying the Steelers are going to win this one handily. Why do you think that? What do you think the final score is going to be?
I think DeShone Kizer gets rattled early without the crutch of Isaiah Crowell. I think Kizer throws at least 2 interceptions, one of them being returned for a pick 6. Ben Roethlisberger goes off for another 3 touchdowns. I'm going to take Pittsburgh in somewhat of a blowout, 30-10 in this one.
Wow, that is a big win for 2 teams in the playoffs. And these are 2 teams that know each other the third time. We heard from owner Lip saying how difficult it is to beat a team the third time around because they know their tendencies. There's only one way to find out. Let's send it out to the game. Coming up next, playoff time here in the NBL goes on. It's AFC divisional round matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's coming up right now here on NBL Live.
My name is Rex Dixon.
Craig Stein.
Clint from EA Sports.
You're watching NBL.
You're watching the NBL Network. And you're watching the MBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's been dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He is looking deep over the middle. He has a man. It's Brandon Cooks who catches it, makes a man miss.
Oh, that's
Woodard is dropping back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker ability as he finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown. It's playoff time here in the NBL, folks, and it continues here in snowy Pittsburgh. We got an AFC divisional round matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. A great matchup here on NBL Live, folks, and we appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Sonny Weaver. Sonny, let's go back to the fact that these are 2 divisional rivals. They've seen each other twice this year. The Steelers have come out on top in both of those, but how much of a bearing do those earlier matchups have on the game?
Well, I don't look so much to the Week 1 matchup where the game was relatively close till the end. I look to that Week 17 matchup where Cleveland started to get a little bit more exposed for their inability to throw the ball. I think you're going to see that continue. They really didn't have a great throwing day in the first round. They did end up getting the win based on some defensive turnovers. So I look to see Pittsburgh try to stack the box, make DeShone Kizer, especially in this inclement weather, try to beat him with his arm.
Yeah, and now we get an opportunity to see that Cleveland Browns offense come out. The question is, would they be able to pass the ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense or pass the ball at all? This is a team that has been dominated in the running game, but passing, well, they really haven't had to. But with Duke Johnson, no Isaiah Crowell, we'll see what the offense can do. It is DeShone Kizer under center on 1st and 10. He's going to hand it right off to Duke Johnson up the middle. He'll get 3 yards on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 7.
And you get Duke Johnson up the middle there. You know, one thing about this Cleveland offense is they like to load the box and then break for the outside. Little more of Duke Johnson's forte. He's got a little more speed than Crowell to get outside. Surprised he tried to take it up the middle on the first play. Maybe a little bit of misdirection there.
And now a 2nd and 7 for Kizer and the Browns. 3 wide receivers split out to the right, 1 wide receiver alone to the left. That is Kenny Britt, who's going to split out wide left. Duke Johnson in at running back, and no Isaiah Crowell. As Kizer drops back to pass here on 2nd and 7. He's got all the time in the world. He's going to dump this off underneath to Duke Johnson, who catches it near the 1st down marker. They're going to call him about a yard short. Going to bring up a 3rd and 1. And we've already seen it early in this game, Sonny. Duke Johnson, 2 touches. He's going to be a weapon out of the backfield, though, in the passing game.
Yeah, I think I like what they're doing so far with Duke Johnson. They're moving him around, handing him the ball, throwing him the ball. They're trying to find different ways to get him involved. At some point, though, we're going to have to see Kaiser make a play outside to a wide receiver.
And now a 3rd and 1 for the Browns, looking to get some momentum early here in snowy Pittsburgh. 2 tight ends split out to the left side of that formation. I formation on 3rd and 1. They're going to hand it off to Duke Johnson. Tries to cut it back up the middle, and I think he has enough for the first down. They are going to say he does. He gets that first down. And Duke Johnson, Sonny, we know that he is an athletic back. We know how good he is out of the backfield. But does he pose any sort of threat up the middle, or is he very much just an outside running back?
Well, I think he's really an outside running back. He made a move there to get up the middle. Luckily, it was only a yard he needed there. Probably wouldn't have gotten much more. So they need to start utilizing him on the edge here.
1st and 10 for the Browns. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. Duke Johnson still in the game at halfback. On 1st and 10, it's a play action pass forward to Sean Kaiser, who looks over to the right side and is complete to Josh Gordon. A big catch at the 45-yard line. Injury on the play. We'll let you know what happened once we find out. Sonny, early in this game, though, how good is this Browns offensive line? This is no slouch of a Pittsburgh defense, and they've been keeping the pocket pretty clean for Kaiser.
Yeah, they've kept them clean so far now. You get Coleman there out of this slot. I'd like to see the Steelers maybe have already Burns trail Coleman, because I think that's really going to be the guy they go to most today.
Yeah, if you're keeping track at home, that's already 2 passes, so Browns now attempting a 3rd toss underneath to David Njoku, who's going to have a first down. 3 for 3 to start for the game for Deshaun Kaiser. And if you were betting the under on the 5 passes, I think you're probably going to come out behind on that one, as the Browns using the passing attack early, even in the inclement weather.
Yeah, a little bit surprising so far in this game, but one thing to note, David Njoku is the leading receiver for this Browns team as far as receptions go. He's got about 25% more receptions on the year, so that's really Kaiser's dump-off target there, so I'd watch him a lot throughout this game.
A couple predictions in the chat, both going Browns. Gubb saying 27-24 Browns. Shadow Rose saying 28-21 Browns, as this is off to Duke Johnson out of the backfield, and that's going to lose him 2 yards, so while it may have been a completion, it is it does not go for any yards, and we're getting where the injury was to John Greco, their standout tackle. They're saying the x-rays were positive, broken finger, and that could have a big impact, Sonny Weaver, on how this offensive line plays. He's a veteran presence on the line.
He needs to tape that up. It's just a finger. You don't need that. I've seen linemen play with clubs on their hand before. He needs to toughen up here. This is the playoffs.
2nd and 12, shotgun formation for Kaiser and the Browns. 3 wide receivers over to the right, 1 to the left. Duke Johnson in the backfield. It's going to be Kaiser dropping back to pass on 2nd down. Looks over the middle of the field, and I don't know what he saw there, but he might have been thinking he was on the Pittsburgh Steelers for a moment as he was looking for Josh Gordon, and that one thoroughly covered. It's an incomplete pass. Going to bring up a 3rd and long.
Well, what he didn't see there was Ryan Shazier running the route for his guy. Obviously, he predetermined that throw. One thing I don't like right now with Pittsburgh, you're seeing a lot of cover 3, not a lot of pressure yet from Pittsburgh. I'd be trying to get in Kaiser's face, disrupt these pass timings.
Now 5 wide receivers out for Kaiser. 3 over to the right, 2 to the left. 3rd and 12. Ball's on the 36-yard line. Kaiser dropping back to pass. Looks over to the left side. That one's intercepted by the Steelers. Oh, and he's got a lot of room down the right sideline. Kaiser, the only one who can stop him. Oh, that's some solid defensive play, but eventually he just gets past him. It's a touchdown, Pittsburgh Steelers. Kaiser looks so good early, but on that play, Mitchell read his eyes, took that one 80 yards for the early touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I would just like to point out in the pregame, I said Deshaun Kaiser would throw 2 interceptions, 1 getting returned for a touchdown. Folks, I'm telling you, this is going to get ugly quickly, especially when Pittsburgh figures out pressure on Kaiser is going to cause more turnovers.
And that one, he had no pressure. That just looked like a predetermined read. Didn't see the cornerback Mitchell playing underneath, and Mitchell just straight up snagged that one out of the air and took it to the house. And Pittsburgh 7-0. They haven't even had to put their offense on the field yet. Cleveland coming back out. But interesting, Sonny, we talked about how much more they were passing. They were a very pass-heavy team on that drive. Is that going to lead to success for the Browns against the Pittsburgh Steelers?
So sometimes people forget what got them there, and what got Cleveland here was their ability to run the ball and play solid defense. Trying to make Deshaun Kaiser out to be Peyton Manning here in the playoffs is not how you're going to win this game.
1st and 10 for the Browns. They're setting up a little counterplay for Duke Johnson. Good blocking on the outside, but that spin move a little premature. He'll get down to the 30-yard line, give him 5 yards on the play. And that one's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. Gub with a great point in the chat, Sonny. With an offense that good as the Steelers, you can't let their defense score. That's a big score for the Pittsburgh Steelers, getting points on a Cleveland drive.
Definitely, and that's something that Cleveland just can't allow to happen. Methodical drives are the way to win this game.
2nd and 5 for the Browns. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Duke Johnson's going to take the toss play to the left, and he shakes off a tackler. He's able to get 4 yards on the play. That's not something we see from Duke Johnson too often, shaking off tacklers in the backfield. Cam Hayward brings him down, and another 3rd and short for the Cleveland Browns.
Cam Hayward breaks him down. Johnson with the good break of the tackle there to start us off. Not something you see him do a whole lot of, but nonetheless, valiant effort. Seeing more shiftiness out of Johnson. We're definitely used to seeing Crowell trying to run everybody over. He tries to truck you, your mom, and the Holy Ghost. Sometimes don't even see the guy he's trying to truck.
3rd and 1 for the Browns. Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers over to the left, 1 to the right. And a flag on the play, and it looks like it's going to back him up to a 3rd and 6. And that's a killer, Sonny. They had a 3rd and 1. So, a play where they could either run it, they could pass it. They had the misdirection on their side. Now with a false start, an undisciplined penalty, it puts them in a passing situation.
Yeah, and that's you're trying to take down the king here of the AFC, and what you can't do is keep making these mistakes. You already have the pick 6. Now you have the penalty, and now you're going to be forced to probably throw it here with DeShone Kizer and look for possibly another interception here.
And now 3rd and 6 for the Browns. 3 wide receivers out there, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, 2 in the backfield as Kizer drops back to pass on 3rd and 6. Looking deep down the middle. That one's intercepted. The 2nd pick of the game for this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and the 2nd pick of the game for Mitchell. Great field position for the Steelers. And Sonny, I never want to count the chickens before they hatch, but I feel like at this point, this game is almost out of reach with the 2nd Cleveland Browns turnover.
Yeah, you can start calling me Nostradamus because at this point, I'm just calling how this game's going. It's so easy to see. Cleveland isn't in rhythm right now, trying to be what they're not, and look for Pittsburgh here to put some points up.
Yeah, this powerful offense on display, and the first pass intercepted. Taylor with the pick. Oh, wow, that's something we haven't seen from Ben Roethlisberger all year. That one was not open at all, and Roethlisberger threw it right to the Browns defender. And, well, just like that, Sonny, game's not quite over yet because the Browns defense comes up with a huge play on the first play from scrimmage for the Steelers.
I'm not going to get too excited about that, but what I will say is Ben pre-made that throw off to the right. His wide receiver was open. Instead, he locked in on the left. Jamar Taylor ran that route for him. Got to have better vision there for Ben.
1st and 10 for the Browns. 2 wide receivers over the left, 2 tight ends on the right side of that formation. DeShone Kizer under center, bringing Corey Coleman all the way over to the right side. As on 1st and 10, it's a play-action pass. Kizer looks to the left side. Oh, and David Njoku, what a catch! Another ill-advised throw as Njoku was thoroughly covered, but he makes the big play and gets a 1st down for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, not a good read there by DeShone Kizer. Could have been intercepted. Just a good play there by Njoku to bail out his wide receiver.
2 tight ends to the left, 2 wide receivers to the right for Kizer, who's passing once again on 1st and 10, looks over the middle of the field. That one was more open, but Njoku got absolutely obliterated over the middle of the field. Could not hang on to the pass. Gonna bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Cleveland Browns.
Ryan Shazier lays him out, and I thought that ball was about to pop up into the safety's hand. He's lucky he kicked that one away because I thought that was going to come back for another interception.
Yeah, now 2nd and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. Lots of passing early in this game, and so far it's led to 2 interceptions. We'll see if the Browns get back to the run game. No Isaiah Crowell, Duke Johnson at running back, but a very capable backup. As they come out with 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. It's going to be another pass here for Kizer. He's going to dump this one off over the middle to his favorite target. David Njoku fights through the tackle and gets up to the 31-yard line. Another 1st down for the Cleveland Browns. And we're seeing early in this game, Sonny, what you talked about. David Njoku is DeShone Kizer's favorite target.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Ryan Shazier to start hitting him at the line, disrupt his route running a little bit.
Hand off to Duke Johnson on 1st and 10. He'll get a couple up the middle. We'll call him at the 34-yard line. Bring up a 2nd and 7. Only 5 carries for Johnson so far. Sonny, did you hear anything from the Cleveland locker room or from the ownership as to if they didn't have confidence in Duke Johnson? Because we've seen him before. We know how effective he can be. They're just not giving him carries early, especially in inclement weather.
Well, it's like you said, inclement weather. I think there's some nerves about hanging onto the ball, but I wouldn't be putting that in the hands of my rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I wouldn't be throwing it either as he throws another one into That's triple coverage over there, and Pittsburgh luckily didn't come away with an interception. Just bats that one down. Going to bring up a 3rd and 7. Kaiser playing like a rookie right now, though. Not reading the defense effectively. He's going to come out here on the 3rd and 7 that they want to convert just to have a little bit of momentum. 5 wide receivers out there, 2 to each side. David Njoku also on the right side of that formation. 3rd and 7 for the Cleveland Browns. Kaiser takes the snap. He'll be dropping back to pass on 3rd down. Looks over to the right side and throws it directly to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 3rd interception, and now the 2nd touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Big Ben gets picked up by his defense. Artie Burns with the touchdown. And so far, there's been no need to see the Pittsburgh Steelers offense because Cleveland has supported the Pittsburgh Steelers this entire game. The 2nd touchdown thrown by Deshaun Kaiser, unfortunately to the wrong team.
You can tell they're hurting without Isaiah Crowell. They're all discombobulated. They don't know what the game plan is. They think they're going to throw themselves out of the hole. Instead, they're digging the hole deeper.
Well, and as this kick goes out of the back of the end zone, we're going to see the Browns offense. Again, they are the only thing they're winning right now, Sonny, is the time of possession battle. But I'm just curious why they're not running the ball, mainly because Duke Johnson has had success so far. It's not like he's been bottled up for 6 yards. He's finding 3-4 yard gains. It's just Cleveland maybe outthinking themselves.
It's definitely Cleveland outthinking themselves. At this point, I'd just punt the ball because you've been good so far on defense.
Pistol formation now for the Browns, and they're going to pass this one again on 1st and 10, looking deep over the middle, and why not? Another interception. Sure. Boys and girls, I swear this Browns team made the playoffs. They're here. They're in the playoffs, but that's 4 interceptions. Sonny, we're not even out of the first quarter. And if you're the Browns, you're just looking up at the scoreboard and going, well, we are outgaining them 75-0, so that's cool.
Yeah, this has just gotten embarrassing here for the Browns.
Start marking down what topics you want us to talk about in the second half. Is on 1st and 10. It's a handoff to Le'Veon Bell, who has a big hole.
And he's gone.
Yeah, just get out of here. Just go. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. The route's on, folks. Yeah. So, Sonny, what have you been up to this week? What's been going on in the life of Sonny Weaver?
Well, I got a new car this week, and that was cool.
Congratulations. What kind of car did you get?
Got a Nissan Maxima. Great car.
Basically the BMW of Japanese cars.
There you go. You know, I've been watching Train. Excuse me. Star here. Sorry. Can't pass. A little surprised by Cleveland right now. Obviously, now you're down 21 points. I thought it was going to be 30-10, but I think that score may have actually been a little too conservative now.
Yeah, I got to say, joke of the day so far. Earlier, we had somebody predict 50-0 Pittsburgh. One of our grid's own Captain Planet laughed at that score, and he has just commented with, whoever said 50-0, I apologize for laughing. But the Browns are outgaining the Steelers, and Deshaun Kaiser has thrown more touchdowns than Ben Roethlisberger to the Pittsburgh Steelers, so that's a positive. 1st and 10, they're setting up a screen pass, and it's intercepted.
Oh, man. So anyways,
it's been this sort of year on NBL Live, Sonny. It's been a weird one.
I like the belt. I like the hair. I like what you're doing over there. That looks good.
I appreciate that. This is a nice belt. Let's give people a detailed look into this belt. It's heavy and hard to move in a small space. Oh yeah, 1st down. They handed off to Le'Veon Bell, who's got a big hole in the left side. Oh, he should have gone. He was gone.
Ran into contact there. He should have scored there. He ran into it. He didn't want to make it look bad. Oh, well, that's just embarrassing.
That's the worst one. Oh, it's so bad. Somebody screenshot that bad boy. Oh, it's never good when you get the Madden message of, hey, man, looks like you're having some trouble over there. You want us to find you a little easier opponent? You want us? Well.
Oh, that's 50-0. 50-0. Prediction is looking so good right now.
Man, oh man. Roethlisberger going to try to throw the ball, because why not?
Run, Ben.
And he's running over to the right side. He'll toss this up. It's intercepted by Jabril Peppers, who stays on his feet. The only hope for the Browns is their defense scoring points, and Jabril Peppers will take this one to the house. Cleveland, they may not have life, but they got pepper. It's getting spicy in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so this game, I'll tell you what.
What is happening in my life?
You know what, that's a top 5 play right there.
7 turnovers in the first quarter. And they missed the extra point, by the way.
Of course they did, because they're the Browns.
Yeah. 21-6, and folks, I can safely say, if you're just tuning in, that looks much better than this game actually is. It's been all Pittsburgh. 5 first-quarter turnovers by Deshaun Kaiser. 2 of them going to the house. Pittsburgh, the only reason they're not up more is Ben Roethlisberger is gifted back 2 interceptions. So we'll see how that turns out. We may be looking at a defense-only game. Le'Veon Bell did get in the end zone, but
let's talk about that real quick, because Le'Veon Bell, his second carry there, he went for contact inside the 5-yard line rather than just running to the outside. He should have scored. It should be 28-0 right now. Le'Veon Bell, bad read there running that ball.
5 wide receivers for Roethlisberger and the Steelers. Drops back to pass here on 1st and 10. This one he throws to the correct team. It's Le'Veon Bell. Takes a big hit at the 34-yard line. Give him 9 yards on the play. That's the first completion Ben Roethlisberger has to his own team. That's something that's being overlooked because Deshaun Kaiser has thrown 5 to the other team. This is a weird game. And we got a question from the chat. Our very own Bomber asking, is Starr a top 5 owner in the NBL? There was a rather large argument in the NBL chat. Starr saying that he was a top 5 owner. Sonny Weaver, your thoughts?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, 2nd and 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I formation. It's a play-action pass. Roethlisberger going to give this throwing thing one more chance. He's got a man wide open, and it's Martavis Bryant, and get to the end zone, big fella. It's a touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That round's back on. It's back on, folks, because they're about to give the ball back to the Cleveland Browns. We've seen what the Browns offense can do so far, Sonny. Their biggest talent has been throwing balls to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I'll be personally honest. If I'm Pittsburgh, I would take a kickoff and just punt it right back to Cleveland, because your best offense this game has actually been the Cleveland Browns offense.
The extra point is up and good. It's 28-6, folks. And Sonny, I don't want to point this out, but we still have 5 minutes to go here in the first half.
Interesting.
It's going to be a long one.
Kingsman 2, have you seen it yet?
I have, and I thought it was fantastic.
I heard good things about it. Gonna go check that out this weekend.
Well worth the watch, folks, as Gaffney's going to take this ball up past the 25 to the 31-yard line. Sonny, I asked this mostly in jest, but I do ask seriously, is the Browns' best plan just to punt the ball?
It may be, and quit running press man against Martavis Bryant. That would probably help too.
Man, oh man. 28-6, Pittsburgh on top. Cleveland, lots of time left, and so far we've seen in this game lots of time left to throw more interceptions. The Browns needing something, as they're not even outgaining the Steelers anymore. Kaiser comes out. He has not had a good game. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. So now they're going to switch it up, put 2 on the right side of the field, 1 over to the left. Duke Johnson in the backfield, 1st and 10. And Kaiser's going to try to throw this one again, because why not? If it haven't worked the first 6 times, let's try it again. Looking downfield. That's an incomplete pass. 6 of 15 for 59 yards and 5 interceptions. Sonny, if you were the Browns coaching staff, what would you think of that stat line?
I would think somebody screwed up entering that stuff in the computer.
Yeah, there must be some sort of typo, right? Our own NBL Bleacher Report as Kaiser dropping back to pass on 2nd and 10. It can't get much worse. And he actually finds his own receiver. It's David Njoku with his 4th catch on the day. So he moves down into the 38-yard line. Our very own NBL Bleacher Report is reporting that rookie safety Jabril Peppers was seen yelling at Coach Hugh Jackson and quarterback Deshaun Kaiser on the sidelines. Sonny, you've been around the league a while, and you've seen dynamics between players and coaches. As Deshaun Kaiser drops back to pass on 1st and 10, he's going to fumble the ball, because why not? It's luckily picked up by his own team. But we've seen this a lot. What does that do for a team? Is that something that's going to fire up Kaiser, or does that just show dissent on the sideline and isn't very good team chemistry?
You know what? I tend to not comment on things I can't confirm. I would maybe classify that as fake news, I believe is what the kids are calling it nowadays, fake news.
If you want to follow fake news, it's at NBL_Bleacher.
There you go. But what I will say is Deshaun Kaiser needs to hold on to the ball, but the unfortunate part of this whole game is outside of David Njoku, it doesn't seem that the rookie quarterback is really comfortable throwing to anyone else.
Well, let's go over their stats as that one goes for a yard up to, or excuse me, goes for a couple yards up to the third to bring up a 3rd and 9 on the 37-yard line. Kaiser on the year completed 62% of his passes, 14 touchdowns, 19 interceptions, just under 3,000 yards. His stats weren't bad this year. It's just, as you said in the pregame, as Duke Johnson gets some room over the right side, but he won't get to the first down. As you said in the pregame, though, a lot of his success is due to the fact that teams had to play against Isaiah Crowell so much, they maybe loaded the box up more than they should have.
Yeah, I feel like this is exposing the coaching staff especially for what they are, and that's quite reliant on the ability of Isaiah Crowell to break tackles. If they don't have that, they're definitely out of sync and unsure how to play this game.
Well, that field goal cuts it to a 28-9 lead, but the Pittsburgh Steelers offense coming back out on the field. And, Sonny, I don't know, what grade would you give the Steelers offense so far? We've seen 2 interceptions from Ben Roethlisberger, but we've also seen a deep touchdown, and we've seen Le'Veon Bell get in the end zone. They just haven't had a whole lot of plays.
Well, I would say Ben Roethlisberger's having a solid C performance, not making great reads, and but he did have the pass to Bryant, and I would say Le'Veon Bell's having a solid B performance.
Well, Le'Veon Bell's going to get the carry. He has the first down.
And it's now an A.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Le'Veon Bell's just going to take this one to the house. Yeah, touchdown Steelers. Why have sustained drives when you can score so quickly? It is the #1 offense in the NBL, but the Browns defense not doing a whole lot to keep their team in the game as Pittsburgh, once again, with a short drive. I think they have not had a drive over 2 plays so far, as the extra point is up and good, and it's back to a 35-9 lead.
Yeah, that belt was cool.
I'm still holding it. It's still quite heavy. The only reason I'm still holding it is because I saw, I won't name names, but somebody in the chat, who doesn't have room to talk, sitting here and questioning as to if I put down the belt before halftime. I am not, Jiggy. I am not putting the belt down. By the way, what do you think of Mixer?
So far looks okay. They maybe getting a little laggy here towards.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't just me.
Nah, it's got some hiccups to it, but shout out to Mixer.
Yeah,
Get good.
Get good. 35-9, buddy. I don't think your 30-10 score is gonna hold up in this game, as we're at 3:05 to go in the game. Kaiser in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers out there, 2 to each side, and Joku on the on the offensive line on the right side of that formation. Kaiser's throwing it once again on first down, looks over to the left side, and that one is a drop, and it's an incomplete pass, and that just doesn't help anybody if the wide receivers can't come up with the passes that they're supposed to.
Well, I'm quite curious now if they're going to complete more passes to the Pittsburgh Steelers or to their own guys.
Kaiser dropping back to pass on 2nd and 10, looking deep down the middle, and that one's another one to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 6th one of the first half. Davis goes out of bounds. Also, Jason McCourty will be fine. Just some cramps here in the cold weather.
Hey, OSU, they can't see that.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm continually messing with the video because it's been a little laggy on this end.
Well, good. Let me describe what just happened, folks. Star dropped back, looked downfield, found a Pittsburgh Steeler downfield that he could throw the ball to and chucked it to him.
Yeah, it was a safety interception. All right, maybe we're okay now. I'm trying to save you from.
Oh, they're going to pick up the fumble. But that should have been another touchdown.
I'm not gonna say anything, but mods, could you pay attention a little bit? Thank you. All I'm saying, come on, mods, get it together. Big shout out to our mods in the chat. I formation now for the Pittsburgh Steelers as we continue to hope this stream holds up so you can see some more quality NBL football. As they hand off to Le'Veon Bell over the left side, he'll get. Excuse me, that's Niall Davis in the game.
Yeah, they've already started benching starters. This is good.
That's good. Jamie Collins with the tackle. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 7, and we appreciate everybody tuning in to what is turning into slowly the Sonny and OSU podcast with some football on the screen at the same time at times, as long as Mixer cooperates, as Davis is not going to get anything there. And we're mercifully going to hit the 2-minute warning. But we appreciate everybody tuning in. Broadcast number 131, I believe, And this divisional round action, Sonny, well, it hasn't been a good game, but there is something to look forward to because we're going to have our doubleheader, what we hope. Are we having our doubleheader? Have we confirmed that?
No doubleheader.
No, we're just having the AFC Championship game.
Correct. Unfortunately, owner Bananas hates NBL.
He does.
So there will be no doubleheader this year.
We usually do a doubleheader, but in an unsurprising turn of events, Bananas is the one who screws that one up. But we will have the AFC title game tomorrow night, and then I believe we're looking at the Super Bowl broadcast Friday night as Pittsburgh's going to make the field goal and extend it to why not a 38-9 lead. But we will have that as I was reading it, have we seen any good movies lately? Fry, don't worry, we'll get there. We still have a whole half we have to be on the air. Anywho, the Pittsburgh Steelers look like they're primed to be in that AFC title game tomorrow. Then the Super Bowl on Friday and Sunday. The Super Bowl, always a fun show. Lots of big things, including a halftime show here on the NBL Network. And we get to crown a Season 26 champion, the first one of this Madden 18 cycle.
Yeah, and it's definitely not going to be the Cleveland Browns. So that's
science.
Cool.
Who has a better chance of getting to the Super Bowl right now, the Cleveland Browns or my Oakland Raiders?
Your Oakland Raiders,
Thank you.
And there's another interception.
That's another interception. And he could have taken it today. We're having some substitutions right now.
Well, before you wreck your rookie quarterback's confidence to no return, yeah, that's always a good call. I wonder when you're going to see Ben Roethlisberger maybe come out of the game just to avoid any possible injuries. Maybe get some Josh Dobson in here a little early. You already saw Nile Davis come in for Le'Veon Bell. Maybe get Martavius Bryant and Antonio Brown out as well, because at this point, this is a seal beating.
Yeah, this is, I think, the Geneva Convention about to come in and declare this one a war crime as it's 38-9, Pittsburgh on top. They forced 7 interceptions here in the first half. They also forced a fumble that the Pittsburgh Steelers were unable to recover. So, lucky it wasn't 8 turnovers in the first half. As on 1st and 10, the Steelers are going to hand this one off to Nile Davis right up the middle. They'll get to the 18-yard line. As at halftime, what do you say to your team at halftime? Like, is there anything the Browns can say other than, boys, let's try to get out of here with our team in one piece?
I think you start talking about movies. I think you find out if any of your guys have been seeing any good movies. Maybe find out what they're doing this offseason, because this thing is over.
Yeah, now a 2nd and 8 for the Steelers, I formation, and they're just going to continue to keep the ball on the ground as the handoff over the right side to Hillman getting his first carry. Boys and girls, you're about to see the entire Pittsburgh Steelers roster on the field. If you are a fan of the 3rd string holder, you're going to find out who that person is, because it looks like that nobody on the Pittsburgh sideline, if their starter is going to be in the game much longer, as they're up 38-9, and so far, the Cleveland Browns, you were asking if Deshaun Kaiser was going to complete more passes to his team or the other. With him being benched right now, he does end up completing more to his own team. It is 9-7.
Yeah, as reported in the chat, Chunky, it has now been confirmed.
That's breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news.
Breaking news.
Star is not a top 5 owner in NBL. It has been confirmed.
Wait, hold on. I can do this better. Let me just get up the update. Hold on. And we have a live NBL Network update from a very own Sonny Weaver. Sonny, what are you hearing?
Well, what I'm hearing is sources tell us inside the locker room that owner Star has now admitted he is not, I repeat, is not a top 5 owner. More to come at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock you will find out more. You'll also find out whose dog is the best water skier. Yeah, that's right, folks. We have some water skiing dogs coming up at 10 o'clock here on the NBL Network, because that's going to be better than what's going to come up in the second half. 38-9, Pittsburgh on top. It's not looking good if you are a fan of anything Cleveland, but as a fan of anything Cleveland, I can safely say that we're used to the disappointment at this point.
So, coming out of halftime, actually, I just talked to owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Lip. He actually said Bella will be playing the second half for him. So, guys, take note. Bella is in control here in the second half.
As Pittsburgh almost returned that kick. As that, well, okay, so we'll ask some NBL questions before we get on to, I assume, favorite cupcake flavors. Shout out to Red Velvet. But nonetheless, this game has not been good for the Cleveland Browns. The Pittsburgh Steelers haven't had to do a whole lot. We know that there's a lot of ineptitude on the side of the Cleveland Browns, but are the Pittsburgh Steelers proving anything today, or is this just a gift game for them here in the divisional series?
Well, I think they proved that when you throw the ball to them from a defensive standpoint, their guys can catch it, so that's something.
Yeah, well, I guess the question is, looking forward to the AFC Championship game coming up tomorrow night right here on the NBL Network, is there any sort of scouting you can take from this game, or do you just throw this tape away because it doesn't tell you anything in terms of football skill, level, procedure, anything? It doesn't tell you a thing.
Well, I think what it tells you is if you throw the ball to the Pittsburgh Steelers defenders, they will catch it.
And that's bad? We're finding out that's bad if you are looking to win this game. As we'll give a shout-out right now here in the third quarter to our graphic sponsor. That's web3ks.com. They do that overlay you see right above me, all around me. It's got that game around it. It's pretty sweet. They do a great job for us. That's a big run, as that one definitely could have been housed for Hillman, but they're just trying to make sure that they don't hurt anyone out here. But web3ks.com, big shout out to all business at web3ks.com. They do a ton of graphics for us. If you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, head over to web3ks.com. Sonny, we've used web3ks.com for as long as I've been here. I know he's done a ton of graphics for your shows. Really, my favorite part is not only that they're affordable, but they're very timely. They do a great job getting graphics to you, and every one we've ever gotten has been top-notch professional quality.
Very top-notch, very professional, much more professional than the performance we're seeing here by the Cleveland Browns.
Mr. Chunky saying, I make graphics too. If you need it, just hit me up. No.
Please don't.
No. Tough nuggets.
Don't do that.
Yeah, okay. Anywho, 2nd and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, who has looked more like the defense, because the defense itself has been putting up more points. 38-9, Pittsburgh on top. It's a toss play over to the right side. I think, Sonny, the interesting question is, we asked in the pregame, would Deshaun Kaiser and the Browns throw more than 5 times? Is Ben Roethlisberger going to have more pass attempts than 5? I'm pretty sure he ended up with less than 5.
He did, and my other prop bet was, will the Cleveland Browns finish with more receptions to the Pittsburgh Steelers than their own guys? I believe right now Pittsburgh has, yep, they are winning in that.
So close. 3rd and 5. Handoff right up the middle, and why not? Another first down. Le'Veon Bell back into the game. How about that stat line? 4 carries, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's a nice little stat line. That's going to help the old yards per carry average.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, I talked about earlier, that one pick that happened in the red zone, the play before Le'Veon Bell, it went for contact rather than actually running into the end zone. He could have a better stat line.
1st and 10, it's a handoff once again right up the middle. This time Hillman with the carry. He'll get to the 39-yard line, bring it up a 2nd and 10. So, yeah, folks, if you have any questions for us, relevant to NBL, general knowledge, trivia, likes, dislike, yeah, I don't care. Just put it in the chat, because we still got a whole half to go, and, well, we've blocked off this time, so we might as well stay on the air. 2nd and 10 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Roethlisberger in the shotgun. But I'm going to guess he's probably not passing the ball. Nope, he's going to hand this one off, and the Steelers are going to run out of run plays at some point as the Browns celebrating that hit. Boom, got him for a 2-yard loss. Get pumped, Brownies.
Yeah, yeah, that's
hey, Sonny,
that's cool.
How you doing?
Well,
it's been a weird NBL Live season.
You know, let's talk about that for a second. Normally, and I almost blame this version of Madden. You know, it's taken some guys. Some guys just have not been able to adjust well, and so we've seen some really weird, just bad games this year. Look, Ben Roethlisberger 2 for 5. Interesting.
Yeah, he did get to 5 attempts,
which is crazy because he's actually one of the only people that can throw an NBL. So the whole thing has just been a really screwy, weird NBL Live season.
J-Rod saying OSU still holding that belt. That's right. I saw you challenge me and say I couldn't hold it past halftime, and I have done it. Sonny Weaver, but before we get too far, I think we have another news update coming in. I think we do. Hold on one second. This just into the NBL Network newsroom. The Cleveland Browns just turned the ball over again. That was such perfect timing. That was amazing. I was going to say the Browns are still getting railed on NBL Live. And as I did that, they fumbled the ball. It's amazing. Call me OSU Tradamus. You're welcome.
Yeah. I mean, this is horrible.
Oh,
this is just horrible.
Historically horrible, I think. First down, why not hand the ball off?
People love a good train wreck, though. I'll tell you that. They're slowing down, rubbernecking right now, enjoying this.
Yeah. So, I got a cold this past weekend. That was no fun.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But, you know, I'm surviving.
Hey, shout out to Sniper Squad coming in here, seeing the 9-38.
I am so sorry you tuned into this game.
He's saying go Browns. Good for you.
Good
for
you. Roethlisberger just attempted a pass. It was complete to his own team. Jesse James with the 1-yard catch. Yeah, Sniper, I mean, shout out to the support. As a guy who's been a Browns fan ever since they came back to the NFL, I feel your pain. And you think you could come and watch some Madden football and see playoffs in the NBL, a Browns team that made the playoffs, and see some good competition. And what you're getting is a big old nope in this one.
So let's go ahead and think about this for a second.
Oh, whoa. Hold on. Our good friend Chino in the chat said, keep calm, people. Let's remember the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead. Miracles do happen. Yeah. I have news. I have news. I have another update, Sonny. Yes, we have another update here on the NBL Network. Let's send it over to Sonny Weaver. Sonny, where are we on the chance of that Cleveland Browns comeback?
Well, OSU, I'm not sure that's going to happen. Actually, I just heard the ownership group of the Cleveland Browns mention that they are not, I repeat, not a top 5 franchise. In fact, he went so far as to say they are far from it, man, end quote.
It's rough. It's rough in Cleveland right now. They get to come on the big lights of the NBL Network. Sonny, let me ask you a follow-up question on that update. Will owner Z-Star ever live this one down?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say no. This one's probably going to live in infamy for a long time to come.
Hey, you want to know how it's going to live in infamy? It's going to be right here on the NBL Network in our archives of NBL Live. You can come back and watch this one any day you want to be reminded as to how bad the Cleveland Browns are. Let's get that hashtag going. Browns are hashtag not top 5. 3rd and 8 for the Cleveland Browns, who are still here, folks. That's right, they're still in the stadium and trying to play something that resembles football. As I think that's Cody Kessler looking deep down the field. That one's intercepted.
This is awesome.
All right.
So I'd like to point out, right, so I mentioned earlier, coming out of halftime, ownership in Pittsburgh said that Bella would be playing. It appears Bella still can play very good defense. Having some troubles kicking, though. I can tell the paw pads not registering, trying to get that kick meter right. Bella does deserve a treat, maybe a belly rub after this performance in the second half.
Yeah, Bella doing a great job for the Steelers. I want to point out, Sonny, I put the belt down, not because I didn't want to hold anymore, but I didn't want the belt to watch any more of this. It's not pretty, and there's nothing that no one should have to watch this game. But you all are here, all 36 of you, staying here and watching this game. Bless your soul, you masochists.
Well, like I said, you know, sometimes people just love a good train wreck, and right now, this is about the worst train wreck I think I've ever seen in NBL, and I've been here from the start, folks. Literally, I've seen about every bad train wreck there is in NBL, and this one may be the worst.
We got a question from the chat. Mr. Chunky saying, OSU, how's your shoulder? The answer is fine, because that belt, the actual strap, is quite comfortable. Big shout out to ProAmBelts.com for getting us that custom NBL belt. You'll see it in and around the Twitter sphere mostly. You can even follow it at BeltNBL. Pretty sure there's going to be an update from the belt tonight as to, well, he got to watch a lot of this game, and that's sad. That is so sad. And we've got another update coming in. Yes, that's right, folks. We have another update coming in from the NBL Network Studios. Sonny Weaver, let's throw it over to you. How are the Browns doing with 5:30 to go here in the fourth quarter?
Well, I got to tell you, OSU, things are starting to get a little bit depressing. Not saying they're out of it just yet. Some of the Browns players have started talking about where they're going on vacation. I heard a couple guys.
Are they going to Disney World? That's the question.
Well, I did hear Tahiti as
nice.
one of them. Also overheard in the tunnel, Browns ownership talking about sponsorship deals next year. I heard KY Jelly was thrown out there, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that one.
Interesting. That's nice. That's good. The Browns are handing the ball off because it turns out once you as a team have thrown 10 interceptions, Sonny, you decide to run the football a little more.
Well, at some point, I guess you just have to do what you got to do. Hey,
I think
OSU.
Yeah, what's up?
You know where the belt's not going?
Oh, where's the belt not going?
Cleveland.
It's not going to Cleveland. No, it is not. No, I want to point out owner Z-Star doesn't even get to look at the belt anymore. He is blocked by the Twitter because he does not get to even think about the belt anymore. If I hear him thinking about it, he will be kicked out of the NBL because, well, he brought us this game. 38-9. Pittsburgh's still on top. There has not been a lot of scoring recently because I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh feels bad for Cleveland and just is missing field goals on purpose. 3rd and 10. Browns, why not? Let's try to throw the ball. Almost get sacked by your own player. What is happening?
That may actually be the best play so far we've seen from the Cleveland Browns.
It's like a Three Stooges sketch on the football field. As a run there, if you could call it that. Oh! Sonny, did you see that? We have another update. We have an update on Deshaun Kaiser. As Cody Kessler looks like he's about to get sacked. Now that ball's going to come out. We have another update. This is what we have been brought to, folks, doing this gag over and over here on the NBL Network. Sonny, we've got an update from the Browns locker room from our very own Cleveland Slappy Fry. Fry saying Deshaun Kaiser's playing beer pong in the locker room and he is on fire. My question to you, Sonny, is when you play beer pong, do you play on fire? Or, well, that was actually a really nice play there by Duke Johnson. But do you use the on fire rule when you play beer pong? What are the house rules in the Weaver household?
Well, just like up in Cleveland right now, the house rules are you do play NBA Jam style. You do get to heat up and go on fire. Deshaun Kaiser just came off a heater there. He did hit the death cup, though, folks.
Oh,
Johnny
no.
Manziel is his partner right now, and they were celebrating. I think I saw maybe a little nose candy in the locker room.
Oh, my Lord. As the NBA Jam would say, boom, shakalaka. Deshaun Kaiser having a little bit of success tonight. On the beer pong table as Cleveland has turned the ball over. I seriously have lost count. I think we're at 11 times as Duke Johnson gets taken down in the backfield. I think they have 11 turnovers. I think it's 10 interceptions and a fumble, and they picked up one of their own fumbles earlier. Sonny, that's not good. No good.
Yeah.
No good. So who are the Pittsburgh Steelers playing in the AFC Championship game?
Well, I think it's going to be the New England Patriots, but after this game, I'm not sure the Patriots are going to want to play. Tom Brady always likes a good challenge, but after this one, I think he may be thinking about his offseason too.
I'm going the other way. I think that the Patriots want to play this game. By the way, Cody Kessler's stat line is 0 for 3 for an interception so far. But let me say this. I think Brady and the Patriots want to play in this game because they can't do much worse than the Browns.
Well, that is one way of looking at it. When you start thinking about how you will be remembered, you know, at least you got to say, I'm not that guy.
3rd and 14, and I think that was a completed pass for Cody Kessler to his own team. It is Corey Coleman with the catch. Let's boost that stat line, boys and girls, before we get Cleveland trying to get to double digits here in this game. They're down 38-9, and Sonny, if I'm going to be honest, the score should be about 100-9 at this point.
Yeah, they were pumping the brakes in Cleveland, or yeah,
they were
in Pittsburgh.
slamming on the brakes.
Well, it's good to know that Bella understands the NBL rules about not running up the score. Now, I did just hear from Lip. He's at the refrigerator right now.
Wait, no, wait, we're saying, is that an update? We have an update? Hold on. Sonny Weaver, I apologize. We had to make sure that everyone knew that an update was coming. What are we hearing from the Pittsburgh ownership?
Well, I just heard from Pittsburgh. Bella has been doing a very commendable job here in the first half. They're trying to make sure she doesn't give up any points here on this drive, but Lip is reporting from his refrigerator he does have, yes, I repeat, egg rolls. Folks, he is eating egg rolls here in the fourth quarter.
Now, that is clutch. Have we heard anything about the beverage choice with the egg rolls?
I'm hearing it possibly could be a Busch Light with an outside shot at a Coke Zero.
Oh, my Lord. You know, we know that the Lip household, big fan of the Busch Light. But, man, that Coke Zero, you never know when it'll sneak in. Every once in a while, you just don't want that brewski. You want the egg roll to survive on its own, and Coke Zero can be a very good complement to a good egg roll.
It definitely. You know the new Coke Zero. Have you tried the new formula?
I have not. The Coke Zero Sugar? No, I have not. Is it good?
Very good, very good. As Bomber notes in there that I'm always promoting that. It's good stuff.
Is it now? Does it taste? Does it have real Coke taste? Because Coke Zero was fine, but nobody thought it tasted like Coca-Cola. Does this have real Coke taste?
They're getting closer. You know, I appreciate the effort there. Someone asks Bella, Will. Bella
that was
actually
almost another interception, by the way.
Bella is Lip's dog.
Yes, yeah.
Very, very cute dog.
Dog and possibly lover.
Yeah, I mean, really, well, what's interesting is Bella actually knows how to read a defense better than the Cleveland Browns, so that's one thing to keep in mind.
The question is Bella a better... is Bella moved ahead of Z-Star in terms of the ownership rankings?
Well, she can't be any lower.
Oh, that's true. 4th and 2. That really puts Star in the doghouse. Am I right, folks? Boom! The throw to the end zone's intercepted! Another one for the Steelers! Ross Cockrell getting into the game. Oh, man, it keeps going. It keeps going.
Is that a record for interceptions in a game? Congrats, Bella, on that.
We need an update, folks. This just into the newsroom. The Browns, they're not good. I didn't say all the updates were good, folks, but it is a continual update that the Browns are not good. Sonny Weaver, do we have confirmation on that?
Yes, it does sound like ownership has, they're packing up and leaving right now.
Are they still in the stadium?
They're trying to beat the crowd. They've actually trying to blend in with the fans, have put on paper bags over their own heads and are trying to leave the stadium incognito with the fans right now. We'll give you an update later on if we see them leaving the stadium.
No, I think I'm having word that, that Z-Star was recently seen trying to sneak out of the stadium wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. And I'm not sure on this, Sonny Weaver. You're going to have to confirm this for me. I believe the name on the back of that jersey was Lips Bitch. Is that true? Is that what it says?
Honestly, all I know is there's tire treads across his back, and they have little Steeler logos in them. It's kind of interesting.
Wow, that is bold move here, trying to take a knee, by the way. Trying not to get in the end zone. I think, Sonny, this game might actually be over. And by the way, we're going to have to pick a player of the game from this one. So that's awesome. Well, I know there's nothing else to say as we watch the clock just roll down. Mercifully, Cleveland may get to leave Pittsburgh. Not with their dignity. There's no dignity left, though.
Dignity left about the second quarter.
You think it lasts until the second quarter? He had 5 interceptions in the first. Can't wait. By the way, the Browns ended up not getting to double digits. 38-9, your final score here in the divisional round of the playoff. Congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And really just shame. Just shame to the Cleveland Browns. Man, oh man. Well, we got to watch that. I don't think you can call this a game. This was not a game. This was a massacre. But Pittsburgh proved that if you turn the ball over 11 times, you're not going to win a game. That's going to be tough to come away with a victory. As I would like to point out, you guys can't see it right now because I have the play of the game screen up. But they're highlights, the Madden highlights from the game. The first one was the Browns running into the end zone on their only touchdown. So it starts off looking so good on the highlights, and then it's just a repeated plethora of the Steelers going into the end zone. 11 turnovers, not pretty. Player of the game for broadcast 131. Sonny, you can't pick Deshaun Kaiser because we have a rule that you can't. That's the only reason, because truthfully, Deshaun Kaiser was the MVP for the Steelers. Got any other names? The entire defense?
Yeah, I mean, let's go with maybe Artie Burns. He had one of those pick sixes. I think he had a couple interceptions.
Who had the first two? Mitchell had the first 2 interceptions. He took one to the house.
Well, at this point, I don't really care. We can call it whoever.
Let's give it to Mitchell. Good for him. He started the roll. 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. And, that was the first of 11 turnovers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who forced 11 turnovers today. And it's amazing that they forced 11 turnovers. Ben Roethlisberger, in his first 3 passes, threw 2 interceptions, and they won 38-9. So they move on to the AFC Championship game, which will be tomorrow night right here on the network, folks. Hit that subscribe button if you like masochism. I don't know. After this game, I'm surprised anyone is still here, but y'all are still here. We appreciate you hanging out with us as we do our podcast. I swear, Sonny, I think it's a pretty good bet, as we'll call this a little preview to the AFC Championship game. It's a pretty good bet tomorrow's game will be better than this one. You think?
Well, it can't be any worse, and definitely, we don't have necessarily a top 5 owner playing tomorrow, as at least a self-described top 5 owner, but I think we may see a little bit better game.
When in doubt, folks, don't give yourself a title. We're going to get out of here. We hope you enjoyed watching whatever this was. We had some fun, though. It was a good time, and we always appreciate hanging out with everybody in the chat who makes this so much fun. Hit that subscribe button so you know when we're live tomorrow night. Game time is not set yet. I believe it'll be 8 o'clock Eastern, somewhere around there, 8:30. But we will post that on the Twitter at Bomber League. Go ahead and follow that, or just hit that subscribe button. So for my co-host and fellow connoisseur of all things sad, Sonny Weaver, I'm OSU. Your final score from this game here on the NBL Network, the Pittsburgh Steelers thoroughly take care of the Cleveland Browns 38-9. We will see you tomorrow night here on the AFC Championship game right here on NBL Live.